what are some questions the patient can ask to really find out? Again, in my example, they've gone to 5 consultations. They're talking to Dr. Bob. He says he uses it through the whole thing. Now, how experienced is he at it? That's got to be one question. How long have you used this technology? Would you say that's a fair?
Yeah, I would say it's a fair question, but I would say if I'm there and I see that they're taking conventional impressions with materials and trays in my mouth, I would ask, why are you taking these analog impressions and not implementing an intraoral scanner? That you will be able to make this very precisely, quickly, and less stressful for, let's say, me, the patient, at that moment. And
because nobody likes those trays.
No.
I mean, they are the biggest pain in the mouth you can get.
So, that will be kind of the entry to this, right? I think that the intraoral scanner is kind of the entry to the world of digital dentistry. Okay. So that's how we start. And then CBCT images are important, and see how they correlate these things together, because many people implement some things, but they don't get the big benefit. And coming back to your previous question, if we don't use these technologies for the elaboration of my temps or for the treatment planning phase, do I need an All-On-4, or I really need 6 implants, or I need something screw retain or whatever.
Or zygomatic.
Yeah, exactly. Or even that. When you get to the final, you could have surprises. Positive surprises or negative surprises, right? But if you have digitized the whole sequence of the treatment, you get these milled PMA or printed provisionals or temps. We are clear if we are there at the level of aesthetics and function we need to go to the final, or we still need to make modifications. But if you don't implement technology in this first part, you're kind of guesstimating how the final will look or function. So I think these technologies are more valuable if we use them from the beginning to the elaboration of the final restoration.
That's a great point, because when I was sharing with you, as you and I were getting to know each other, that one of the consultations I went to with my mom, I won't mention them by name, but their whole sales pitch is come in, get your surgery, get your finals the next day or within 48 hours. And I'd already known enough to know that's not a good idea, but that really helps what you just said explain that you need to have these try-ins to see with the digital technology, okay, is it exactly fitting with the bite, the facial structure, everything along those lines? And there are changes. I'm in my second set of PMMAs, right? I had my 24-hour temps, then I had my 9-month temps that Dr. Rotana actually did, and did a great job, by the way. And then it was time to get to the PMMA stage. That first PMMA, I was like, I mean, the 9-month provisionals I had were better than this PMMA. And so they looked at the technology, and then they produced a second one. And this second set, I'm like, okay, you nailed it. And if I had gone to a place that was 24-hour turnaround
for the final.
Yeah.
So, the thing is that there are some variables in dentistry that we can control as clinicians, but other variables we cannot control immediately. I don't know exactly the level of, let's say, remodeling that you're going to have after multiple extractions. So if your case involves multiple extractions and I go and deliver the final within those first 24 hours, and then on the back right side you have more reabsorption, the soft tissue, the gum starts to shrink a little bit there, you're gonna get some food impaction there, Hygiene is not going to be the best or the easiest, which could lead to infections and then failure. So in some things in life, you want always fastest is the best. We're talking about prosthodontics and having all your teeth restored or replaced. Some things can be done very quickly, but as I said, because we cannot control all the variables like this example, sometimes we need a few weeks to see what is the condition, if the condition is ready for the best final restoration. So, you know, if this is a process and this prosthesis should last 10 to 15 years, if I have to wait 3 months with a provisional, 4 months and have another set, I think that amount of time is not significant.
Right.
To have something that it's working great for me for a longer period of time. So you gotta understand the whole picture and make your final decision, I would say.
I am one of those patients that was faster the better. I mean, why can't you immediately load, or why can't I get my crown the minute I get my implant? I want it done now. I don't want to wait. I'm not a patient kind of guy by typical standards. And so because of that, I think I was frustrated at times when I would go to a consultation and they would, so you might think that it sounds better if a doctor says, we can get this done quick, versus a doctor that's methodical, that takes their time. That is something that as you're going through this process, make sure that you're willing to invest, not just the money. We all know this is expensive. Okay, we've gotten over that piece of it. It's the time investment. And just like any investment that's out there, if you invest wisely, the returns are much greater versus just going to the blackjack table and throwing all your money versus playing a well-planned stock market, talking to a financial advisor, and as an example. And so make sure that you are willing to, or I highly encourage you to plan ahead, to invest the time wisely. Don't rush this process. I mean, we're over a year into this for me, and I am so grateful that we invested the time for my smile. And so I want to encourage you to do that. So thank you for letting me. I just thought that's a point that really is important for viewers to consider.